After 6 successful years, HYUNDAI is replacing one of its best-selling models. The new Kona has now grown significantly and was primarily developed as an electric car, but is also offered with combustion engines and as a hybrid. After the petrol engines and the full hybrid, the electric versions can now also be ordered. The electric N-line model will follow from March 24. When the HYUNDAI Kona came onto the market in 2017, the electrification of the series was still a side issue. The Kona Electric was only introduced in 2018, followed by the hybrid version in 2019. However, the E-variant has become one of the most popular drive versions, and not just in this country. More than 52,000 Kona Electrics were sold in Germany alone. And if you thought the old one looked striking, just check out this Robocop-style redesign with its seamless horizon lamps, stretching right across the front and rear. Yup, this really is what actual production family crossovers look like these days. Well done, HYUNDAI. Note that you can get internal combustion and hybrid versions of the Kona as well, although this new generation car has been developed as an EV first and a combustion car second. The previous gen has the other way around. We are hoping to sneak a go in the petrol-powered and hybrid version soon. When you are behind the wheel of the HYUNDAI Kona, you know you are in an SUV, because you sit nice and high, with a more elevated sitting position than inside a Toyota CHR. Because the front seats are 53 centimeters above the street is a great advantage, and in addition, with the wide door openings, is a very easy way to enter the cabin. Only the sill is a little higher and is not just made narrow. There is plenty of electric seat adjustment to help you find your ideal driving position easily. Every version comes with adjustable lumbar support to keep you comfortable on long drives while going for N-line, S-trim or above ICE electric seat adjustment. What's more, the fundamental driving position is mostly sound. The pedals line up nearly with the steering wheel that offers plenty of height adjustment. Taller drivers might find the wheel can be pulled out far enough for them to get a comfortable distance back from the pedals too. Unlike almost all the Kona's rivals, the front and rear seats of all but the entry-level Advanced model are heated, while top-spec versions get ventilated front seats. Every Kona comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which includes DAB radio, Bluetooth and built-in sat-nav plus wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay smartphone mirroring. The logical menu layout and quick response to inputs makes it one of the most user-friendly systems to us in the class. The graphics are sharp too. Even so, the best thing about it is the sheer amount of physical shortcut buttons you can use to skip to each of the different menus. We much prefer it to the touch-sensitive controls you will find in the class. What's more, there are big, easy-to-find buttons further down to adjust every single aspect of the climate control system without having to go anywhere near to the touchscreen. Only entry-level Advanced models miss out on a wireless charging pad, while opting for N-Line S or above also adds an upgraded Bose stereo system with 7 speakers. Its sound quality won't blow you away, but it lets you crank up the volume without too much fear of distortion. All the button switches and dials feel robust and have a satisfying click whenever you use them. There is an exhaustive list of safety tech fitted, but HYUNDAI allows the driver to actually drive, the tech is supportive and doesn't impose itself with as many alerts and beeps as in some cars. Plus, there is always the option to further fine-tune which alerts are required among the settings. The digital instrument cluster, exemplary in size at 12.3 inches, is clearly drawn in most settings, and also the display between the round instruments is easy to read. The infotainment system main screen, also 12.3 inches in size, is located high up and well within the driver's field of vision. The multimedia menu is clearly structured but extensive. The separate climate control panel is clearly designed, and the automatic function relieves the driver. It's just one position and a little low, which makes it easier to see when operating. The road must be avoided. The white writing on silver-grey background is not possible in strong light, more clearly visible. Other standard and comfort-enhancing helpers include the standard one, light and rain sensors, as well as the electric windows, including automatic tapping for the front windows. Positive, it should also be emphasized that Hyundai is on a complicated basis. Touch surface for operation are omitted, and instead buttons that are easy to feel and have a clear pressure point. There is also two rotary controls for volume and for scrolling or zooming in infotainment. In the prime configuration, the electric Kona is extensively equipped. As I have mentioned before, there are satellite radio with DAB reception, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both wired, and a Bluetooth hands-free system are on board. There is also a clear visible head-up display which helps the driver to keep his eyes on the road, and of course there is a navigation system with real-time traffic information. Hyundai always deliver with it. Over-the-air updates are also possible. The routes can be calculated in the BlueLink cloud, allowing for more accurate traffic forecast and arrival times, as well as more reliable recalculations of the route are possible. Charging stops are integrated into route planning. Finally, the loading time also becomes a part of the total travel time taken into account. There are USB ports at the front and the back, and there is also a 12-volt socket for the front seats. You can also easily use the inductive charging cradle in the middle console, which the Prime version has from the factory. There are also all-round cameras for 360 degrees image, as well as a parking assistant which, among other things, enables remote control forward and reverse driving via the car remote control. The engine is started using an easily accessible button, although is hidden behind the steering wheel and is on the dashboard installed. The gear selector lever, or better said, the direction selector lever, is on this unusual position at the bottom right behind the steering wheel, allowing for a large storage space between driver and passenger. There, depending on the position of the steering wheel, it is not easy to see, but it is there, within easy to reach. The driver, neutral, reverse and park modes are illuminated, and the selected level has a contrasting color. But that only helps if the view of the lever is clear, but you quickly get used to it since the operation makes really sense. Thanks to vehicle to load charging with an included 3-point pin adapter, you can even use the Kona Electric large battery to power external devices like a computer, fridge or movie projector, and potentially even give another EV a boost if its battery is running low. There are plenty of storage cubbies, bins and cup holders to put your odds and ends, along with a large central storage compartment between the front seats. These cup holders between the seats are quite practical and smart, since they are removable and can hold easily bigger bottles. There is also a large cubby hidden below the front center armrest, which is also big, but in there are no USB ports or a 12-volt socket. The glove compartment is sufficient, large and lit, but neither air-conditioned or lockable. There is enough space and headroom at the front for people almost 2 meters tall. The interior is wide enough and for this class even less. Front seats in this trim level have electric adjustment. The driver's seat is also with an electric two-way lumbar support as well equipped with a memory function. The contours of the backrest and seat surfaces of the front seats are quite comfortable. The center armrest can only be folded and it cannot be adjusted lengthwise or in height. The armrests in the doors are padded in the front and back. Space in the rear is much improved over the previous Kona Electric with ample headroom, knee room and two room behind my driving position at 180. The floor in the new Kona Electric is close to flat compared to the small center tunnel in petrol models. Unlike some electric cars, there is still a fair amount of under-tie support, though it is still less than a petrol Kona. The cabin is wide enough to carry 3 passengers abreast on shorter drives, and amenities available to them include rear air vents, room for sling bottles on the doors, a fold-down armrest with cup holders, map pockets on both front seat backs, 2 USB-C ports, 3 top tether child seat points and 2 ISOFIX child seat anchor points. Exclusive to the Kona Electric is a vehicle-to-load socket next to the near USB ports, which includes a household power socket allowing you to plug in and power small electrical devices from a laptop to a desk light or even to a toaster. In the prime configuration, the Kona Electro comes with an electric tailgate as standard. Contactless opening is also included if you just stand behind the car with the key in your pocket. This function can be actually switched off. The opening height of the tailgate is around 1.90 m and is adjustable. A practical feature function so that does not reach, for example, let's say, ceiling clamps in the garage. The compartment cover rises up if the tailgate opens and doesn't stay on the way. The trunk opening is high and wide enough for the cargo space, therefore is easy to use. The height of the loading still falls quite handy. It is 69 cm above the ground, and heavy items do not have to be lifted too far when loaded. The trunk floor is in its upper position at the same height as the loading sill, and that makes unloading easier. Lies the ground in its lower position, you have a 5 cm high step on the inside. The trunk is only illuminated by a lamp on the side, and they could have installed in the other side one as well. The boot is handy size and shape, and with an overall capacity of 466 liters, it absolutely trounces the competition, but it isn't quite as big as a Nero EV with 475 liters capacity. The predecessor had only 225 liters. If you remove the cargo cover and use the storage space up to the roof, the volume increases to 525 liters. Additionally, there is one more small storage space under the trunk floor, which is about 70 liters, and a compartment under the front hood, which is about 20 liters. The rest seat backrest can be divided into 3 parts in a 40-20-40 ratio. This works simply and quite smoothly. The headrests do not have to be removed for this. You should only pay attention to the outer straps if you need to fold down the backrests in order to don't trap them. The folding of the rear seat backs are only from the front, not from the trunk possible. On the left in the trunk there is one compartment and 2 back hooks at least, a back hook on the right. HYUNDAI installed 4 lashing eyes to attach a net to be able to clamp the trunk floor. Additionally, there is a compartment under the front hood, which is overall small but still big enough to storage 2 charging cables. Let's take the Kona for a ride. Electronically controlled dampers aren't available for the Kona, but the standard suspension offers very good comfort. Hyundai tunes its suspensions rather comfortably than stiff and sporty. There is correspondingly more body roll and body movement. Nevertheless, the boat fits very well to the character of this compact electric SUV. The optional 19-inch tires reduce the comfort, but on concealed road conditions, the result is still acceptable. In urban areas, bumps are easily absorbed, but you can feel edges a little more clearly, but doesn't bother. With increasing speed, the suspension becomes more supple, and bad country roads don't upset the Kona. Also on the motorway it is relaxed, so that the driving comfort is also acceptable for long distances. Above about 30 km dominate rolling noises and lighter wind noises are noticeable. The engine itself cannot be heard, but there is a subtle singing from the gearbox or differential, which it has quite present in the test car, especially at low speeds, was heard. At 130 km an hour, the interior remains quiet, and with a noise level of 67.6 decibels, can somebody cruise on long distances. The Kona Electric is standard in the Prime trim level standard, equipped with dual-zone automatic climate control and a heat pump for greater efficiency in the transitional period. The automatic climate control function offers 3 intensity levels. There are center vents for the rear seats between the front seat backs and ventilation vents under the front seats. The front seats and the steering wheel are heated standard, and seat heating is also available at the rear for an additional charge and ventilation for the front seats. Included in Prime are the tinted rear windows. Since heating and cooling for the interior works electrically, Hyundai uses this to have auxiliary air conditioning, and it can be programmed or started remotely via the vehicle app. We must here say something about the vent. The direction of the airflow can be adjusted for all ventilation nozzles, but the intensity are unfortunately not independent of each other. It can therefore happen that you have one ventilation nozzle adjusted too far and accidentally closed. This is difficult to control, especially while driving, therefore somehow disturbing. The Kona Electric does not require a gearbox. Runs away from the stand, and the acceleration is constant and jerk-free. The switching from forward to reverse travel works fast. Operating the small lever behind the steering wheel needs some time to get used to it, but then it becomes easy to operate, without even looking at it, and is understandable. The 4 recuperation levels 0 to 3 can be activated, one for each driving mode, Sport to Eco, in the menu. Very practical, but also can be activated via the pedals, so you can use it over long distances. Braking exclusively with the electric motor can somewhat rarely use the physical brakes. One more option is the auto recuperation, which is also available and has several basic levels. This mode receives information from the front radar sensor and selects recuperation automatically as needed, watching also the traffic ahead. This works well in everyday life, and really you rarely have to operate the brake pedal, but at the same time you can use only as much braking power as necessary via recuperation. The Kona offers really a good driving stability overall, and calms down quickly after sudden steering maneuvers again. Ruts affect the directional stability of the Hyundai only a little. There are noticeable building movements and slight rocking after bumps, but overall they remain within safe limits. If you press the accelerator pedal in curves, there is a slight difference on load change reactions, but these are reliably captured by the ESP if necessary. Overall, the mid-range Kona remains easy to control and safe on the road. The traction control brakes the drive wheels if necessary, and the Kona remains also easy to control when accelerating harshly. At the limit there is light understeer. Low changes cause the rear to push outwards slightly, but everything is kept safe by a moderately regulating ASP activity. Anyone who is afraid from body movements should not get irritated. You can even have fun driving it. When emergency braking from 100 km to a standstill, the Kona Electric needs 35.7 meters, and this is a good result. The braking feeling is pleasant in everyday life. The interaction between recuperation delay and the effect of the disc brakes is practically not noticeable. So are response and controllability also flawless. The steering reacts appropriately to steering commands. It offers only a moderate response and a rather synthetic feel. That could be about the middle position. Restoring torque, especially at lower speeds, is a bit more pronounced, but the zero position can be easily reached. The aiming accuracy is okay, even at higher speeds. The steering is overall pleasantly direct, and from stop to stop only 2.6 turns are required. The safety equipment of the Kona Electro in the prime equipment is very extensive. Many things come as standard. An emergency braking system including collision warning is also standard, as well as the lane keeping and lane change assistance. The latter includes the rear traffic alert, which detects crossing traffic using radar sensors in the rear apron, monitored, warns of dangers when reversing out of a parking space, and even takes on the function of an exit warning. A speed limiter and adaptive cruise control are also standard in the Kona Prime. The well-functioning traffic sign recognition combines the information from the front camera navigation map material. The optional highway assistant also includes automatic lane changing navigation based on the map data from the navigation system of the vehicle, and for example, in front of you is a town sign, a roundabout or a sharp curve. The speed is automatically reduced in time through the active radar cruise control. On the other hand, fatigue detection is direct measuring the tire pressure control system, as well as a head-up display that projects its information into the windshield. At an emergency braking, the braking lights initially flash at high speed frequency to draw the attention to the emergency situation. The hazard warning lights then turn on automatically. Unfortunately, Hyundai has driver monitoring as well. Constant, unnecessary and extremely annoying warnings takes away from useful assistance systems any acceptance. In the electric version of the Kona is available the possibility of the turn-off of acoustic warnings, such as traffic sign recognition without to have to deactivate the system completely. Unfortunately, everyone will restart the acoustic warning from a minimum speed limit according to the speedometer, not according to the actual speed. But that's in this new EU regulation. If you try it briefly, use the speedometer display. To get your bearings, you immediately receive a warning to get on the road. The waiting period is far too short here and impractical. The poor coordination of the two systems leads to a devaluation in the assistance systems chapter. That the Kona still achieved a very well done in this area is because of the excellent features of the model. A lot of drivers, we fear, will be going menu diving to turn this stuff off every time they start the car. Fortunately, among the intelligent user experience decisions Hyundai has made here is a customizable button on the steering wheel that can be set to take you straight to the relevant infotainment screen. The surcharge for the electric drive in the Kona is significant, because it only starts at just under 42,000 euros in basic equipment and a smaller battery, but for our test car with a top trim level prime and large power storage, Koreans want at least 50,690 euros, and even then the end of the financial flagpole has not yet been reached, because our tester, the Koreans, demand 55,290 euros. Really a lot of money for one lower middle class car. The expenses for maintenance should be manageable. There is significantly fewer mechanical parts and no oil changes. Only the cost for the tires can be expensive. If you often use the engine's general torque and wear out of the front tires in no time. The larger factor of monthly cost is as usual the case of depreciation. Very hard to be exactly evaluated because actually it depends on the durability of the battery. Hyundai gives this 80 years guarantee up to 106,000 km on the high voltage battery and as well for the whole car. Anyone who sees the old and new model next to each other will notice straight away the new one is bigger, and that benefits the interior space, because even 4 adults now can sit comfortably on long journeys, and thanks to the larger trunk they don't have to leave any luggage behind. It's a shame it's not a little more exciting to drive, but we imagine most buyers will be happy to trade this for the additional space and the sheer good sense exhibited by the interior design. The tech you can get really is quite impressive for this class too, but its price has also risen immense. 55,000 euros for a middle class SUV, it's a lot of money.